Hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Wanted to come to you today with a Friday Reads and tell you about how life is going and what's in my reading life. And so this last week, first week of August is gone. Holy moly, that went fast. And I'm a teacher, so we're going to have kids in the classroom before you know it. All us teachers have to be back at school on the 18th, and then we'll have the kids. I think it's the 22nd. We have the kids in the classroom, and so in our school, we're going to start with kids in the classroom. We're all having to wear masks, and we're going to hopefully that's how the whole year will be. I'm being pretty optimistic here, I know, but we're going to do that until circumstances change. And so let me tell you about what's went on this week, and then tell you about my reading life. So last Saturday we had the prom. My daughter's a junior, and all the junior parents put together the prom, and we were able to let the kids have a dance out at the lake. We did keep social distancing. Couples had to stay apart from each other. All his teachers or parents, excuse me, all his parents were out there, and we made sure everything was relatively safe. My job was taking temperatures, so we always bring our kids in, and they bring them in their cars, and they do kind of a lineup, and they come in couple after couple, and the parents stand off and take pictures and cheer as they come into the prom. And my job was, when they were getting all their cars lined up, as they came by, before they went and got their picture and then went down to the grand entrance, I had to take all the temperatures. That was my job, and get all those recorded and make sure everybody is or that nobody is running a temperature. And so I did my job, and then my daughter and her date got to go, and it was just a lot of fun. And I'll try to put a picture in here so you can see us. I got a picture with my daughter. It was good for the kids to be able to have something. They lost a lot last year, that last school year, and so it was good for them to have that. Like I said, we're going to be back at school here soon, so that's kind of exciting. I've been in my classroom here working on getting bulletin boards up. I got the paper on it. I haven't put anything on it, but we're getting bulletin boards up. We are, just setting up everything in the class like we would for a regular school year. I know I've got family coming into town today, so this weekend could be kind of hectic, and I might not be able to get the videos I was hoping to get done. I recently done the 28 more random questions tag by Steve Donahue, and that prompted me and a few others were doing that tag, and that prompted him to put out another random questions tag. And I hope to get that one done here real quick or soon. I don't know when I'll be able to get that done, but I'm going to be working on that. And so I'll get those put up. They've been pretty fun. It's fun, resurrecting these tags and going through those questions, because when he made that original tag, I wasn't even on BookTube yet. I didn't even know it existed. So it's fun to go back and see those videos get revived. Right now at school, been pretty busy. Been doing a social studies conference, and it's kind of neat because teachers from all over the nation and all over the world, for that matter, get together, and they're talking social studies and how we're going to deal with the pandemic and stuff in the classroom. And it's kind of neat to see all the different just ideas, the different circumstances, because my circumstance here in Southwest Iowa is much different than cities in California or Oregon, or we've got one of the speakers is from Abu Dhabi. I had people from, I think was there one from South Africa? We had one, they were just all over the world. That was kind of neat. Anyway, we've been putting that together and been talking about things like, in social studies, we're going to try to start giving kids more control of their learning and prompting them to ask questions, good questions that would lead to more learning, so that they can put together authentic, projects. Let's see, look at dealing with all perspectives of history, not just, one person's point of view, but all the people's point of view, which I feel I do some of that in my classroom. I can always do more. I can always get better. So I'm going to be working on that. Of course, we've been talking about remote learning and doing stuff online. We've been talking about just how this year, 2020, just the way it's been, social studies matters. And, social studies is in the last couple years has been put on the back burner just a little bit. And here we are, we're front and center again because of all the stuff going on. So that's, we're going to have plenty to talk about in the classroom. That's going to be interesting. And hopefully we'll be able to, empower the kids. And anyway, so that's been life this week. And what I have been reading, I finished up The Caning, The Assault That Drove America to Civil War by Stephen Puleo. This was a great book. I absolutely loved it. All of the events that he talks about in the book all lead back to the caning, and his main idea is the caning was the instigator of pretty much the entire Civil War. It was the thing that really got it going. It pushed it ahead. And so I'm going to be doing a book chat on that. I'll be putting that up sometime in the next few days. And it's just been a very interesting read. And something that was kind of neat was I found myself doing stuff like Steve Donahue. He likes, I think he takes the book reviews that he finds on different books and it's been folding them up and tucking them into the books. Well, this whole thing deals with Charles Sumner's speech that he made in Congress, the crime against Kansas. And so I found myself, I know the general gist of the speech, but I've never actually read through the whole thing. And so I found myself printing it off. This is kind of I believe the annotated version, or not annotated, edited version. It's been whittled down a little bit, but I'm going to read this short version, and then I also have a tab open on my computer that has the whole speech, which it took him, I believe, if I remember right, 5 hours to do the speech. It was done over a 2-day period, and so I thought, it's kind of an important speech, especially if Puleo is claiming that this is really the instigator that got the Civil War going, all the events that led from this. I think I probably ought to read the whole speech. So I'm going to be doing that, and I also found some interesting newspaper articles that I went on. Our school has an account to newspapers.com, and we can go back and look at old newspapers, and I found some of those newspapers that he sources in this book that he goes back and talks about. So I thought that was kind of neat, and so it's really increased my reading in that subject. And this book's really been kind of what I call one of those rabbit holes in history. It might not be a great big subject. It's kind of one small event, but it's got some interesting ramifications that came from it. The other book that I started this morning, I should have started it yesterday and didn't get to it, but started it this morning, didn't get very far. I woke up late, and then my 3-year-old woke up early, so I didn't even get through half a cup of coffee before she was downstairs. So I didn't get through the first chapter, but it's The American Revolution, A Grand Mistake by Leland Stauber. This was one that I got in a recent book haul that I found could be pretty interesting. And so far, again, I'm only through the introduction. I haven't got very far. But they're asking all sorts of interesting questions in this, or he is. He's talking about the stuff that worked as advantages for us, the Great Declaration of Independence, the ideological rejection of a titled nobility and monarchy, early economic independence, but it's also going to lead to, other stuff, that's other questions that are going to be asked. And, some of the negative stuff that came out of this was the dilemma of slavery. I mean, that was huge coming out of the Revolution, something we just didn't deal with. We kind of swept it under the rug. And it's going to deal with the legislative union versus a purely voluntary federation. It's going to deal with the American system of government altogether, which he's making a claim that it's outdated, and that the founders, one of the things he was saying was the founders made it so that our government or our Constitution could change, But even though it could change, it does not change very quickly, which has not allowed us to stay up to date with social issues. And so that's a huge drawback. And then the underlying American mindsets about the role of government, which plays into that as well. But I don't know. It's asking a lot of probing questions that I think I'm gonna really find as I get to reading. It's making me question things. A good book will do that. I don't know if I'll agree or disagree with the stuff he says. I don't know. I'm gonna find out when I read it. But I think there's some stuff in there that I might be able to use with my kids in my classroom and be able to get them to just question everything we're doing here in the United States, and get them to probe things, to question stuff that'll lead to hopefully more learning down the line. That is my ultimate goal with this book. And so I'll let you know what I think of it. It shouldn't take me but just a couple days to read it if I can get my daughter to stay asleep in the morning. But I should be able to get through that fairly quickly. It's only a couple hundred pages. And so that's my reading life right now, and life in general. So I hope everybody's finding themselves, safe and healthy, and just having a good time with their reading. So until next time, BookTube, happy reading.